Did it happen? Could it happen? Undoubtedly it could. Only 3 years earlier, the Irish poet Tom Moore appeared on the field of combat to avenge a review by Geoffrey of the Edinburgh. These affairs were seldom fatal and sometimes farcical, but potentially, the duelist stood in respect to the law no differently from a murderer. As for the murderee, a minor poet like Ezra Chater could go to his death in a Derbyshire glade, as unmissed and unremembered as his contemporary and namesake, the minor botanist who died in the forests of West Indies, lost to history like the monkey that bit him. On April 16, 1809, a few days after he left Sidley Park, Byron wrote to his solicitor John Hanson, "If the consequences of my leaving England were 10 times as ruinous as you describe, I have no alternative. There are circumstances which render it absolutely indispensable, and quit the country I must immediately." To which the editor's note in the collected letters read as follows. What Byron's urgent reasons for leaving England were at this time has never been revealed. The letter was written from the family seat, Newstead Abbey, Nottinghamshire. A long day's ride to the northwest lay Sidley Park, estate of the Coverleys, a far grander family, raised by Charles II down to the Earldom of Croom. And
Val! Oh,
do you mind?
Hannah,
what?
she's so rude.
Am I?
Bernard is reading us his lecture.
Yes, I know.
What is this?
Spot on the India Office Library.
Um,
It's a copy of
Hannah?
Peacock's holograph.
Hannah, shut up.
It's all right, I'll just read it to myself.
No.
It's okay. Go on.
Right. The Byrons of Newstead in 1809 comprised an eccentric widow and her undistinguished son, the lame brat, who until the age of 10, when he came into title, had been carted about the country from lodging to lodging by his hectoring, vulgar monster of a mother, until overruled. And until 4 months past his 21st birthday, was master of nothing but his depths and his genius. Between the Byrons and the Coverleys, there was no social equality and none to be expected. The connection, undisclosed to posterity until now, was with Septimus Hodge, Byron's friend at Harrow and Trinity College. Sustained. Byron's contemporary at Harrow and Trinity College, and now tutor in residence to the Croom daughter, Thomasina Coverley. Byron's letters tell us where he was on April 8th and on April 12th. He was at Newstead. But on April 10th, he was at Sidley Park, as attested by the game book. April 10th, 1809, forenoon. High cloud, dry, and sun between times. South, Augustus. Lord Byron, 14 pigeon, 1 hare. But, as we know, the drama of life and death in Sidley Park was not about pigeons, but about sex and literature.
Unless you were the pigeon.
Oh, ignore him, Bernard.
I don't have to do this. I'm paying you a compliment.
Oh, just ignore him. Go on, get to the duel.
Hannah's not even paying attention.
Yes, I am. It's all going in. Really. Is there much more?
Hannah!
No, it's all really interesting. Really. I just need to ask Valentine about this. Right, sorry, Bernard, go on.
Yes. Sorry, Bernard.
Please, Bernard.
Right. Where was I?
Pigeons.
Sex.
Literature.
Right. Life and death. Nothing could be more eloquent than the 3 documents I've outlined. The terse demand to settle matter in private, the desperate scribble of "My husband has sent to town for pistols," and on April 11th, the gauntlet thrown by the aggrieved and cuckolded Ezra Chater. The cupboards have not survived. What is certain is that the 3 letters were in Byron's possession when his books were sold in 1816, preserved in the pages of the Couch of Eros, which 7 years earlier he had borrowed from Septimus Hodge.
Borrowed?
I'll be taking questions at the end. Constructive criticism shall be welcome, which is indeed the reason for trying out in the auspices before presenting to the Byron Society next week. By the way, Valentine, you want credit? Gamebook recently discovered by...
You never lost, Bernard.
Gamebook recently pointed out by... I don't usually give credit where it's due, but there is a certain cachet in citing a member of the aristocracy with scholarly articles like this. Perhaps I'll pop your name in for the lecture and mention you in the press release. How's that?
Very kind.
Press release? What happened to the Journal of English Studies?
That comes later with the apparatus, in the recognized tone, of course. Very dry, very modest, absolutely gloat-free. Yet unmistakably, eat your heart out, you dozy bastards. But first it's Media Dawn. Book early to avoid disappointment. Where was I?
Game books.
Eros.
Borrowed.
Right. Borrowed. Is it likely that the three letters were already in Byron's possession when he had borrowed the book from Septimus Hodge?
Yes.
Shut up, Val.
Well, it's conceivable.
Is it likely that Septimus Hodge hadn't first removed the three letters before lending the book to Byron?
Look, sorry, I only mean to say that Byron could have borrowed the book without asking.
That's true.
Then why wouldn't Hodge ask for them back?
I don't know, I wasn't there.
That's right, you bloody weren't!
Oh, go on, Bernard, go on.
It is the third document, the challenge itself, that convinces. Chater, as a man and a poet, points the finger at his slanderer in the press. Neither as a man nor a poet did Ezra Chater cut such a figure as to be habitually slandered or even mentioned in the press. It is surely indisputable that this slander was the review of the Maid of Turkey in the Piccadilly Recreation. Did Septimus Hodge have any connection with the London periodicals? No. Did Byron? Yes. He had reviewed Wordsworth 2 years earlier and he was to review Spenser 2 years later. And do we have any clue as to Byron's opinion of Chater the poet? Yes. Who but Byron could have penciled in the 4 lines into Lady Croom's copy of English Bards?
Almost anybody.
Dear girl.
Don't call me dear girl.
Dickhead then. Is it likely that the man Ezra Chater calls his friend Septimus Hodge is the same man who kicked the shit out of his last book and fucked his wife?
Put it like that, almost certain.
You've been deeply wounded in the past, haven't you, Hannah?
Nothing compared to listening to this. Why wasn't any of this in Byron's letters about the Piccadilly reviews?
Exactly, because he killed the author.
But the Maid of Turkey was made the year before, so was he clairvoyant?
No. Letters get lost.
Thank you. Exactly. There is a Platonic letter which confirms everything, lost but ineradicable, rippling through the universe like radio voices for all eternity. My dear Hodge, here I am in Albania, and you're the only one who knows why. Poor C. I never wished him any harm, except in the Piccadilly, of course. It was the woman who made me eat, dear Hodge. Such a tragic experience, but thank God it ended well for poetry. Yours truly, B. P.S. Burn this.
Right? But how did Chater find out that Byron was a reviewer?
I don't know, I wasn't there, was I? I'm sorry, you wish to say something?
Oh, what?
I know. Byron told Mrs. Chater in bed. Next day, he dumped her, so she wanted payback and pleaded date rape.
Date rape? What do you mean, date rape?
April the 10th.
That's the last straw. I've had enough of this. I've had nothing but childish comments and sarcasm this entire time.
What did I do?
No credit for probably the most sensational literary discovery of the century.
I think you're both jolly unfair. You're just jealous, Bernard?
I'm sorry, Bernard.
Yes, sorry, Bernard.
Well, you were feeding your tortoise the whole time.
I'm sorry, but it was his lunchtime and I'm hungry.
Only if I'm afforded the common courtesy of scholars among scholars,
Oh, absolutely. Mum, till you're finished.
after which any comments are to be couched in terms of accepted academic
Dignity. Right.
respect.
Oh, yeah, sure. You got it.
Without question, Ezra Chater issued a challenge to somebody. If a duel was fought in the dawn mist of Sidley Park in April 1809, his opponent on the evidence was a critic with a gift for ridicule and a taste for seduction. Do we need to look far? Without question, Mrs. Chater was a widow by 1810. If we seek the occasion of Ezra Chater's early and unrecorded death, do we need to look far? Without question, Lord Byron, in the very season of his emergence as a literary figure, quit the country in a cloud of mystery and panic and stayed abroad for 2 years at a time where continental travel was unusual and dangerous. If we seek his reason, do we need to look far?
Bollocks.
Well, I think it's true.
You've left out everything which doesn't fit. I mean, Byron was going on for months about leaving England. He even wrote about it in his letter in February.
Yeah, but he didn't go, did he?
No, he only left in the beginning of July, I think.
I don't know, time moved much more slowly then. He was waiting for a wind in Falmouth or something.
Bernard, I don't even know why I'm even bothering. You're reckless, greedy, and selfish. You went from having a glint in your eye to a sure thing and a hop, skip, and a jump. You're like this little kid pedaling its way on its tricycle towards the edge of a cliff. And I think you are mad. But I have to do something about this. So listen to me. If Byron killed Cheta, then I'm Mary of Romania. You would have gotten so much fame, you wouldn't be able to leave this house without a paper bag over your head.
Actually, Bernard, as a scientist, your theory is incomplete.
But I'm not the scientist.
No. As a scientist...
I have yet to hear a proper argument.
Nobody would kill a man and then pan his book. I mean, not in that order. So he must have borrowed the book, written the review, posted it, seduced Mrs. Cheta, came back, fought in a duel, departed, all of which he did between 2 to 3 days. I mean, who would do that?
Byron,
It's hopeless. It's hopeless.
you've never understood him as you've shown in your novelettes.
In my what?
I'm sorry, did you think it was a work of historical revisionism? Byron, the spoilt child, promoted beyond his gifts by the spirit of age, and Carolyn, the closet intellectual, shafted by male society.
I read that somewhere.
It's his review.
And bloody well said too. You got them backwards, darling. Carolyn was romantic waffle on wheels with no talent, and Byron was an 18th century rationalist touched by genius. And he killed Cheta.
Well, if it's not too late for me to go on, I'd like for you to continue.
I intend to. Look to the mote in your own eye. You even got the bloke on the dust jacket wrong.
Dust jacket.
Look, aren't you going to mention my computer model?
It's inconclusive.
Yeah, the Piccadilly reviews aren't a very good fit for Byron's other reviews, you see.
The Piccadilly reviews aren't a very good fit for each other, are they?
No, but differently. The parameters...
Parameters. You can't stick Byron's head in your laptop. Genius isn't like your average grouse.
Yeah, well, it's all trivial anyway.
Oh, what is?
Who did what? When?
Trivial?
Personalities.
I'm sorry, did you say trivial?
Yeah, it's a technical term.
Not where I come from, it isn't.
The questions you're asking don't matter, you see. It's like arguing about who got there first with the calculus. The English say Newton, the Germans say Leibniz. But it doesn't matter personalities. What matters is the calculus. Scientific progress. Knowledge.
Really, why?
Why what?
Why does scientific progress matter more than personalities?
Is he being serious?
No, he's being trivial. Bernard, what did you mean by the
Look,
dust?
do yourself a favor. You're on a loser.
Spare me the penicillin and pesticides, and I'll spare you the bomb and aerosols. But don't confuse progress with perfectibility. A great poet is always timely. A great philosopher is always in need. There was no rush for Isaac Newton. We were quite happy with Aristotle's Cosmos. Personally, I preferred it. 55 spheres geared to God's crankshaft was my idea of a satisfying universe. I can't think of anything more trivial than the speed of light. Quarks, quasars, big bangs, I mean, who gives a shit? How did you people cut us out of all that status? All that money? And how do you act so pleased with yourself?
Wait a minute. Bernard, are you against penicillin?
Don't feed the animals. I push the lot of you over the cliff to myself, except the one in the wheelchair. I think I lose sympathy for it before I had time to think it through.
Bernard, what the hell did you mean by the dust jacket? Can you
If
just...
knowledge isn't self-knowledge, it isn't doing much, mate. Is the universe expanding? Is it contracting? Is it standing on one leg and singing, "When my father painted the parlor"? Leave me out. I can expand my universe without you. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet her an aspect in her eyes. There you are. He wrote it after coming home from a party. Now, what is it that you're doing with your grouse, Valentine? I'd love to know.
He's not against penicillin, and she knows I'm not against poetry. Given up on the grouse.
You haven't, Val.
I can't do it.
Why not?
It's too much noise, too much bloody noise.
You're a bastard, Bernard.
Well, that's all of them. Even Lightning. Even he's gone.
Ah, yes. Well, it's not that much fun when it's among pros, is it?
No.
Oh, by the way, would you like to know about your book jacket?
Now?
Yes, Caroline Lamb and Lord Byron at the Royal Academy. Ink study by Henry Fuseli.
What about them?
It's not them.
But who says?
The Fuseli expert at the Byron Society Journal. They gave me the latest as a distinguished guest speaker. Read at your leisure.
But Bernard, I know it's them. Everyone knows.
Popular
it was
tradition
them.
only. Hold on. There we are. No earlier than 1820. He analyzed it.
Analyzed it.
Charming sketch, of course, but you see, Byron was in Italy at the time.
Bernard, I don't care. I know it was them.
How?
How? Analyzed it. My big toe.
Language.
I know it was them. He's
Oh.
wrong.
Gut instinct, you mean?
He's wrong.
Well, it's all trivial anyway. Hey, why don't you come with me?
To where?
With me?
Oh, London. Right. Your lectures.
No. Bugger that. Sex.
No, thanks.
You
No.
should try it. It's very underrated.
Nothing against it.
You know, maybe then you'll get the inspiration to write a good book. Or at any rate, the right book.
God, sex and literature and sex. Your conversation left to itself has nowhere else to go. Like two marbles spitting in a pudding basin. One of them is just always sex.
Yes. Well, men all over.
No doubt. Einstein, relativity and sex. Chippendale, furniture and sex. Galileo, did the earth move? What the hell is wrong with you people? Some guys even wanted to marry me. I can't think of a worse bargain. Available sex over not being able to fart in bed. What did you mean by the right book?
Well, it takes a romantic to make a heroine out of Caroline Lamb. You were right for Byron.
So cheerio then.
Oh, I'm coming back next week, you know, for the dance.
Oh, I'm sorry. Chloe didn't tell you. I don't dance.
No. You see, I'm going with Chloe.
Oh. Well, I don't dance anyway.
No, you see, I'm her date. Don't tell her mother.
Oh, but she doesn't want her mother to know?
No, I don't want her mother to know. This is my first time in the landed aristocracy, and I'm rather boggle-eyed.
You haven't seduced the girl, have you?
Seduced her. Every time I turn around, she's up a library ladder. In the end, I just gave in. Oh, that reminds me. I saw something in between her legs the other day that reminded me of you. There it is. Peaks Traveller and Gazetteer. 1832, unillustrated.
The world is going to hell in a handcart.
500 acres, including 40 of lake. The park by Brown and Noakes has pleasing features in the horrid style, viaduct, grotto, etc. A hermitage occupied by a lunatic since 20 years without discourse or companion, save for a pet tortoise, Plautus, which he suffers children to touch on request. Tortoises, they must be a feature.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Your station taxi is at the front.
Yes, thank you. Did Hermit's name, did Peacock come up for trumps?
For some.
My dear Thackeray. God, I'm good. Sorry about...
Piss off, Bernard.
Don't let Bernard get to you, Val. It's just his personality. Rhetoric, like how they used to teach it in ancient times, like PT. Rhetoric was like their chat show. It was never about being right. They had philosophy for that. This is just Bernard's indignation, his own aerobics for when he finally gets on television.
I don't care to be rubbished by the dustbin man. Where's the what of the lunatic?
The Testament of the Lunatic serves as a caution against French fashion, for it was Frenchified mathematic that served him to a melancholy world without life or light. As a wooden stove must consume itself until ash and stove are one, as heat is gone from the earth.
Huh.
He died aged 70 years and 7, hoary as job and meager as a cabbage stalk. The proof of his prediction left with the restitution of hope through good English algebra.
That's it.
Well, is there anything in it?
In what? We are all doomed? Yes, it's called the second law of thermodynamics.
Was it known about?
By poets and lunatics from time immemorial.
Seriously.
No,
Has it got anything to do with Thomasina's discoveries then?
she didn't discover anything.
Her lesson book.
No,
A huge coincidence then.
what is?
He died aged 70 years and 7, which means that was in 1834, which means he was born in 1787, which was the same year as my hermit. He wrote about it in his letter of self-recommendation. It's in his letter somewhere. See, date of birth 1787, the same year as Septimus Hodge, which means my hermit was born as the same year as him.
Did Bernard bite you in the leg?
Don't you see, Val? I thought my hermit was the perfect symbol. An idiot in the landscape. But this is so much better. The whole age of enlightenment banished into the romantic wilderness. The whole hermit living on in its hut.
You really don't know that.
Yes. Yes, I do. Somewhere out there will be something. I just need to find it.
Mr. Hodge!
Thank you, Jellyby. I was expecting to be locked out. What time is it now?
5:30.
5:30. Well, this is what I have. What a bracing experience. The dawn, you know, unexpectedly lively. Fishes, birds, frogs, and rabbits, and very beautiful. I brought Lady Thomasina a rabbit. Will you take it?
It's dead.
Yes, Lady Thomasina loves a rabbit pie.
You were missed, Mr. Hodge.
Oh, I decided to sleep in a boathouse last night. Did I see a carriage leaving the park?
Captain Bryce's carriage with Mr. and Mrs. Chater also.
Gone.
Yes, sir. And Lord Byron's horse was brought round at 4 o'clock.
Lord Byron too?
Yes, sir. The house has been up and hopping.
What are his rabbit pistols? What am I to do with rabbit pistols?
You were looked for in your room.
By whom?
By her ladyship.
In my room?
I will tell her ladyship you are returned.
Jellyby? Did Lord Byron leave a book for me? A book? Well, he had a loan of a book for me.
His lordship left nothing in his room, sir. Not a coin.
I'm sure he would have left one if he had one. Come, Jellyby. Here's a half guinea.
Thank you, sir.
What has occurred?
The servants are told nothing, sir.
Oh, come. Has a half guinea buy nothing at all?
Her ladyship encountered Mrs. Chater during the night,
And where?
on the threshold of Lord Byron's room.
Which one was entering and which was leaving?
Mrs. Chater was leaving Lord Byron's room.
And where was Mr. Chater?
Mr. Chater. Mr. Chater and Captain Bryce were drinking cherry brandy. They had the footman to keep the fire up until 3 o'clock. There was a loud altercation upstairs and...
Well, Mr. Hodge,
My lady.
all this to shoot a hen.
A rabbit. A hare, though very rabbit-like.
My infusion.
Yes, my lady.
you?
I cannot be called account for what was written in private and read without regard to propriety.
Addressed to me.
Left in my room in the event of my death.
Ah, what on earthly use is a love letter from beyond the grave?
As much surely as from this side of it. The second letter, however, was not addressed to your name.
I have a mother's right to read a letter written by you addressed to my daughter, whether in the event of your life, your death, or your imbecility. What do you mean of writing to her of rice pudding when she had just suffered a violent death amongst our midst?
Who's that?
Yours, you wretch!
Ah, yes, I see.
I do not know which is the matter of your ravings. One envelope full of rice pudding and the other of the most insolent familiarities regarding several parts of my body. But have no doubt which is the more intolerable to me. Aren't we saucy when our bags are packed? Your friend has gone before you, and I have dispatched the harlot Chater and her husband and my brother for bringing them here. Such is the sentence, you see, for choosing unwisely in your acquaintance. Banishment. Lord Byron is a rake and a hypocrite, and the sooner he sails for the Levant, the sooner he'll find society congenial to his character.
It has been a night of reckoning.
Indeed, I wish it had passed uneventfully with you and Mr. Chater shooting each other due to the decorum of a civilized house. You have no secrets left, Mr. Hodge. They spilled out between oaths and shrieks and tears.
I'm afraid I have no knowledge of what has occurred.
Your trawler was discovered in Lord Byron's room.
Ah, by Chater.
Who else?
My lady, I'm sorry for having used your kindness to bring my unworthy friend to your notice. He'll have to give an account of himself to me, you may be sure.
I will do it.
Yes, my lady. Lord Byron left a letter for you with the valet, sir.
Oh, thank you.
When did he do so?
As he was leaving, your ladyship.
Allow me.
I do not know if it's proper for you to read a letter written by someone not welcome in my house.
It is very improper indeed. Lord Byron's want of delicacy is a grief to his friends. I will not read his letter until I have followed him through the gates.
Well, that may excuse the reading, but not the writing.
My lady, you should have lived in the Athens of Pericles. The philosopher would have fought the sculptors for your idle hour.
Oh, really? Oh, really? Oh, really?
See, there's a thing. A letter written by Lord Byron was never to be read by a living soul. I will take my leave at the time of your desiring it.
To the Indies?
The Indies, why?
To follow the Chater, of course. Did she not tell you?
She did not exchange half a dozen words with me.
I expect she did not like to waste the time. The Chater sails with Captain Bryce.
As a member of the crew.
No, as a wife to Mr. Chater. Plant gatherer to my brother's expedition.
I knew he was no poet, but I did not know it was botany under false colors.
Oh, he's no more a botanist. My brother paid £50 to have him published, and he'll pay £150 to have him picking flowers in the Indies while the wife plays mistress to the captain's quarters. Captain Bryce has fixed his passion on Mrs. Chater, and in doing so he has not failed to deceive the Admiralty, the Linnean Society, and Sir Joseph Banks, botanist to His Majesty at Kew.
No passion is not as fixed as his.
It is a defect of God's humor that he directs our hearts everywhere, but to those who have a right to them.
Indeed, madam. Indeed. Is Mr. Chater deceived?
He insists on it, and finds his proof in his eagerness to defend his wife. Captain Bryce, however, is not deceived, but cannot help himself. He would die for her.
I think he would have Mr. Chater die for her.
Indeed, I never knew a woman worth the due. Your letter to me goes very ill with your conduct to Mrs. Chater, Mr. Hodge. I've been betrayed before the ink was dry, but to be betrayed before the pen is even dipped, and with the village notice board, what am I to think of such a performance?
My lady, I was with my thoughts in a gazebo until Mrs. Chater ran me to the ground, and I, being in such passion, in an agony of unrelieved desire, and I thought in my madness, the Chater with her skirts over her head would give me the momentary illusion of happiness, which I dared not put a face.
I do not know when I've received a more unusual compliment, Mr. Hodge. I hope I'm more of a match for Mrs. Chater with her head in a bucket. Does she wear drawers?
Oh, she does.
Indeed. I heard the drawers are being worn now. It is unnatural for women to be got up like jockeys. I cannot approve. I know nothing of Pericles or the Athenian philosophers, but I can spare them an hour in my sitting room when I bathe. 7 o'clock. Bring a book.
Even in Arcadia, sex, literature, and death at Sidney Park. Picture of Byron.
Not of Bernard.
Byron fought fatal duels, says Dawn. Valentine, do you think I'm the first person to think of this?
No.
I haven't said yet. The future is all programmed like a computer. That's a proper theory, isn't it?
Yes. The deterministic universe.
Right, because everything, including us, is a bunch of atoms bouncing off each other like billiard balls.
Yes. There was someone, forget his name, 1820s, who said that from Newton's laws, you could predict everything to come. I mean, you need a computer as big as the universe, but the formula would exist.
But it doesn't work, does it?
No. It turns out the math is different.
Right. I don't think so. It's because of sex.
Really?
Well, that's what I think. The universe is deterministic, alright? I mean, it's trying to be, but the only thing going wrong is people fancying people who aren't supposed to be in that part of the plan.
Ah. The attraction that Newton left out. All the way back to the apple in the garden. Yes. Yes, I think you're the first person to think of this.
Have you guys seen this? Bonking Byron shot poet.
Ooh, let's see.
He has done awfully well, hasn't he? How did they all know?
Don't be ridiculous. Your father wants it back, by the way.
Oh, alright.
What a fool.
Jealous? I think it's brilliant. Ooh, Gus, you look so handsome. Except you can't wear shoes with a suit. I'll lend you a pair of flatties. They'll look wonderful on you.
Hi, Gus. You all look so romantic today.
Are you coming, Gus?
Personally, I think you shouldn't give two monkeys about what young people think about you.
Listen, you don't think that she's gotten a thing about Bernard, do you?
Chloe? Oh, no, I wouldn't worry about her. She's old enough to vote on her back. Byron fought fatal duels, says Dawn. Or rather, says Dawn.
It may all prove to be true,
It can't prove to be true, Val. It can only not prove to be false yet.
just like science.
If Bernard can stay ahead from getting the rug pulled from under him till he's dead, he will be a success.
Just like science. The ultimate fear is of posterity.
Personally, I don't think it'll take that long.
And then there's the afterlife. An afterlife will be a mixed blessing. Ah, but a Nightingale, I don't believe you've met Lord Byron. Must be heaven up there.
Well, you don't believe in an afterlife, do you, Valentine?
Hannah, you're going to disappoint me at last.
Am I? Why?
Science and religion.
Oh, no. Been there, done that. Boring.
Hannah, fiancé, have pity. Can't we have a trial marriage and call it off in the morning?
I don't believe I've had a more unusual proposal.
Have you had many?
That would be telling.
Why not? Your classical reserve is only a mannerism and neurotic.
You want the room then?
You get nothing if you give nothing.
I ask for nothing.
No, stay.
Fine. Well, what are you doing anyway?
The set of points on a complex plane.
Oh, it's the grouse, right?
The grouse. The damn grouse.
Yeah, you shouldn't give up.
Why? Didn't you agree with Bernard?
No, it's all trivial. Your grouse, Bernard's Byron, my hermit. Comparing what we're looking for misses the point. It's wanting to know that makes this matter. Otherwise, we're just going out the way we came in. And that's why you can't believe in an afterlife. Believe in God, the soul, the spirit. Believe in angels, for all you like. But not in the great celestial get-together for an exchange of views. If the answers are in the back of the book, I guess I'd have to wait, but what a drag. Better to struggle on knowing that failure is final. Oh, wow, how beautiful.
The Coverley set.
The Coverley set?
Lend me a finger. You see, out of an ocean of ashes, islands of order. I can't show you how deep it goes. Each picture's a small section of the previous one, blown up, and so on forever. Pretty nice, eh?
Is it important?
Interesting. Publishable.
Oh, well done then.
Not me. It's Thomasina's. I just pushed it through the computer a few million times more than she could have done with a pencil.
Well, so what does it mean?
Not what you'd like it to.
Why not?
Well, for one thing, she'd be famous.
No. She died before she had any time to be famous.
She died?
Burned to death.
She was the girl who died in the fire.
Right before her 17th birthday. You can see where the dormer doesn't match, and her bedroom was right above that ceiling. And there's even a memorial in the park.
I know. It's my house.
Right. So anyway, Septimus was Thomasina's too.
You do yours, okay?
You swore! You crossed your heart!
I'll tell Mom! I'll tell Mama!
You beast!
Hush! What is this? My lord, order! Order! I'm obliged.
Well, good day to you, Mr. Hodge.
Good day. Who joined us this morning? We are having our drawing lesson.
I'm a master even at Eton, Mr. Hodge. But we only draw naked women.
Oh. Well, you may work from memory.
Disgusting.
We shall have silence now, if you please.
No marks. Did you not like my rabbit equation?
I did not see a resemblance to a rabbit.
Well, it eats its own progeny.
I did not see that.
Well, I have no room to extend it.
Do you mean that the world is coming to an end?
No, but if that's how this one will end, maybe it's how the next one will come about.
But through good English algebra.
So, it will lead into infinities or zero or nonsense.
No. If you set apart the minus roots, they square back to sen.
Listen, you know your tea is getting cold.
Oh, I like it cold.
No, I am telling you something. Your tea, it gets cold by itself. It doesn't get hot by itself. Do you think that that's odd?
No.
Well, it is odd. Heat goes to cold. It's a one-way street. Your tea is going to end up at room temperature. Now, what's happening to your tea is happening to everything everywhere. The sun and the stars. It's going to take a while, but we are all going to end up at room temperature. Now, when your hermit set up shop, nobody understood this. But let's say that you're right. In 18 whatever, nobody understood heat better than some scribbling nutter living in a hovel in Derbyshire.
But he was at Cambridge, a scientist.
Say he was. I'm not arguing. And the girl, his pupil, she had a genius for a tutor.
All the other way around.
Whatever you'd like. But not this. Whatever your hermit thought he was doing to save the world with good English algebra, it wasn't this.
Why? Just because they didn't have calculators?
Because there's an order that things can't happen in. You can't open a door until there's a house.
I thought that was what genius was.
Only for poets and lunatics.
I had a dream, which was not all a dream. The sun did extinguish, and the stars did wander off, darkly into the eternal space, rayless and pathless. And the icy earth swung blind and blackening in the moonless air.
Your own?
Byron!
Septimus, do you think that I will marry Lord Byron?
Wait, who's Lord Byron?
He is the author of Childe Harold's Pilgrimage, the author of the most poetical and pathetic and bravest hero of any book I've ever read, and the most modern and handsomest. Lord Byron is Harold himself for those who know him, like myself and Septimus. Well, Septimus,
No.
why not?
For one thing, he's not aware of your existence.
We exchanged many significant glances while he was at Silly Park, but I do wonder that it has been a year since he's been home from his adventures and has not written to me once.
It is indeed improbable.
Lord Byron? He claimed my hair, although my shot was the earlier. He said I missed by a hair's breadth. His conversation was very facetious. But I do not think he will marry you, Tom, for he was only lame and not blind.
Peace! Peace until 11:45. It is intolerable for a tutor to have his thoughts interrupted by his pupils.
You're not my tutor, sir. I am visiting your lessons by my free will.
If you are so determined, my lord,
Your peace is nothing to me, sir. You do not rule over me.
I do not rule here. I inspire by reverence for learning and the exaltation of knowledge whereby men may approach God. There will be a shilling for the best period drawn in silence by 11:45 at the earliest.
You will not buy my silence for a shilling, sir. What I know to tell is worth much more than that.
I told him you kissed me, but he will not tell.
When did I kiss you?
What? Yesterday.
Where?
On the lips?
In which county?
In the Hermitage.
Ah, on the lips in a hermitage. Well, that was not a shilling kiss, and I will not pay 6 pence to have it back. I've almost forgot it already.
Oh, cruel. Have you also forgotten our compact?
God save me, our compact.
To teach me to waltz, seal with a kiss and another dew when I can dance like Mama?
Ah, well, waltzing like mice in London indeed.
I will be despised if I do not waltz. It is the most fashionable and gayest and boldest invention conceivable.
Let them have the waltz, they cannot have the calculus.
Well, Mama has brought back a whole book of waltzes to play on the Broadwood with Count Zelinsky.
I need not be told why they cannot but suffer. Count Zelinsky, banging on a Broadwood without relief, has me reading in waltz time.
Oh, stuff. What is your book?
Oh, prize essay of the Scientific Academy in Paris. The author deserves your indulgence, my lady, for you are his prophet.
I? What does he write about? The wall?
Yes, he demonstrates the equation of the propagation of heat. But in doing so, he has discovered a heresy. A natural contradiction to Sir Isaac Newton.
He contradicts determinism.
No. Well, perhaps. He shows that atoms do not go according to Newton.
Let me see. Oh, in French?
Yes, Paris is the capital of France.
Four-handed now. Mama is in love with the Count.
He's a count in Poland. But in Derbyshire, he's a piano tuner.
Oh,
Don't know.
Mr. Nox's engine!
Damn!
Mr. Nox!
Well, he was there not long ago.
Well, he has to be in the photograph. Is he even dressed yet?
Is Bernard back?
No, he's late. Gus!
I don't know how you can teach under such a disturbance, Mr. Hodge, and I'm sorry for it.
Gus!
Just stop bossing everybody about.
It's an unendurable noise!
The photographer will wait.
The overbearing dull monotony of it. It will drive me distracted. I may have to I may have to return to town to escape it.
Your ladyship should have remained in the country and Count Zelinsky returned to town where you will not hear him.
I mean Mr. Nox's engine! Would you sulk? I would not allow my daughter to study sulking.
What, Mama?
Well, what are we learning today? Not manners.
We are drawing today.
Drawing. Geometry. I approve of geometry.
Your ladyship's approval is my constant object.
Oh, well, do not despair of it. Where's Mr. Knox? Oh, he's gone for his hat so that he may remove it. For the widow's dowry of dahlias, I may have to forgive my brother's marriage. We must be thankful that the monkey bit the husband, for if it had bit the wife, the monkey would be dead. And we won't be the first in the kingdom to show dahlia. I sent one potted to Chatsworth. The Duchess was most satisfactory, put out by when they called it the Devonshire House. Your friend was lording there as a poet.
Well, just as I said, Newton's law of motion that would knock our atoms from cradle to grave is incomplete. Determinism leaves the road at every corner, just as I knew all along. And the cause is very likely hidden in this gentleman's observation.
Of what?
The action of bodies in heat, of course.
This is geometry.
Geometry? I despise geometry.
The traitor would overthrow the Newtonian system in a weekend.
Geometry, Hobbes assure us, is the only science God is pleased to bestow on mankind.
And what does he mean by it?
Hobbes or God?
I'm sure I do not know what either means of it.
Who's to Hobbes? Mountains are not pyramids, and trees are not cones. God must love architecture and gunnery if Euclid is his only geometry. But there is another geometry which I am engaged in discovering by trial and error, am I not?
Yes, trial and error perfectly describes your enthusiasm, my lady.
How old are you today?
16 years, 11 months, and 3 weeks, Mama.
16 years and 11 months! Oh my, we have to have you married before you're educated beyond eligibility.
I am going to marry Lord Byron.
Are you? He did not have the manners to mention it.
You have spoken to him?
Certainly not.
Where do you see him?
Everywhere.
Did you, Septimus?
Yes, at the Royal Academy, where I had the honor to accompany your mother and Count Zelinsky.
What was he doing?
Posing.
He was being sketched by a professor of painting, Mr. Fuseli.
There was more posing at the pictures than in them. His companion likewise completely reversed the custom of the academy in which the ladies viewing wore more than the ladies viewed. Well enough, let him be hanged there for a lamb. I've had enough of Mr. Noakes, who is to a garden what a bull is to a china shop.
Ah, the Emperor of Irregularity.
Mr. Noakes!
Your ladyship,
What have you done to me?
everything is satisfactory, I assure you. A little bit behind schedule, but my dad will be prepared within a month.
Hush! Can you hear Mr. Noakes?
Ah, the improved newcomer steam pump, the only one in England.
That is what I object to. If everybody had his own, I would bear my portion of the agony without complaint. But to be singled out with the only improved newcomer steam pump in England, this is hard, sir. This is not to be borne.
Your ladyship.
And for what purpose? My lake is drained to a ditch for no reason I can understand, unless it be that Snipe and Curlew have deserted 3 counties just to be shot in our swamp. What you painted as a forest is a mean plantation. Your greenery is mud, your waterfall is wet mud, and the mount is an open cast mine for the mud that was lacking in the dell. What is that, cowshed?
That is the hermitage, my lady.
That is a cowshed.
Madam, it is, I assure you, a very habitable cottage. Probably founded and drained, 2 rooms and 1 closet under a slate roof and a stone chimney.
And who is to live in it?
Why, the hermit, of course.
Where is he?
Madam,
Mr. Noakes, If you give me a hermitage, I expect for it to come with a hermit. What hermits do you have?
I have no hermits, my lady.
Not one? I am speechless.
I'm sure a hermit could be found. One could advertise
Advertise!
in the newspapers.
But surely a hermit who takes the newspaper is not one we could have complete confidence in.
I have nothing to suggest, my lady.
Mr. Noakes, if I ask for a fountain, I expect for it to come with water.
Is there room for piano? A piano?
Oh, this will not do. Evidently nothing is being learned. Come, Mr. Noakes.
Mr. Noakes, bad news from Paris.
Is it the Emperor Napoleon?
No, it concerns your steam pump. Improve it as you will never get out of it as much as you put in it. It will repay you 11 pence to a shilling at the most, and the penny is for the author's thoughts.
Thank you, my lady.
Do you understand her?
No.
Then this business is over. I was married at 17. Ce soir, il faut qu'on parle français. Je te demande, Thomasina, as a courtesy to the crown. Wear your green velvet. I'll send Briggs to do your hair. 16 years and 11 months.
Lord Byron was with the lady?
Yes.
Oh,
My lady, why does it mean when Mr. Noakes' engine pays 11 pence to shilling? Where does it say it?
nowhere. I noticed it, by the way.
Nor is he interested in
Oh,
determinism?
yes, I remember now. Newton's equations go forward and backwards. But a heat equation, it only goes one way. It does not care which way. That is the reason why Mr. Noakes' engine will not give enough power to drive Mr. Noakes' engine.
Everybody knows that.
Well, yes, they know it about engines.
12:15. For your essay this week, explicate your diagram.
I cannot. I do not know the mathematics.
Without mathematics, then.
There. I have made a drawing of you and Plautus.
That is very good. But not so good of me.
Sir,
My lord.
I gave you an offense, sir, and I'm sorry for it.
Oh, I took none. But it is kind for you to mention it.
I have a question, Mr. Hodge. You have a brother. I dare say, being a Septimus.
Oh, yes. He lives in London. He's an editor of a newspaper, the Piccadilly Recreation. Was that your question?
No. Oh, it is you. I would like to keep it.
Oh.
There are things a fellow cannot ask his friends. Carnal things. My sister believes such things as I assure you I cannot bring myself to repeat.
You must not repeat them then. The walk between here and dinner will suffice to put us straight if we stroll by the garden. It is an easy business. And I will rely on you to correct your sister's state of ignorance. Come.
Oh, no, bloody hell! Thank you, Mr. Hodge. I will.
Oh no! No!
Sorry, Bernard.
Fucked by Dahlia. Do you think? Is it open and shut? What does it really all amount to when all is said and done? Am I fucked? What do you think, Valentine? Tell me the truth.
You're fucked.
Does it mean that?
Yeah, I think so, Bernard.
Show me where it says. Let me see. No. You read it.
Okay. October 1st, 1810. Today, under the direction of Mr. Noakes, a parterre was dug on the south lawn and will be a handsome show next year, a consolation for the picturesque catastrophe of the second and third distances. The dahlia, having propagated under glass with no ill effect from the sea voyage, is named by Captain Bryce Charity for his bride, though the honor properly belongs to the husband who exchanged beds with my dahlia and an English summer for everlasting nights in the Indies.
Well, it's so around the houses, isn't it? I mean, who's to say what it means?
It means that the Ezra Chater of the Sidley Park connection is the same Ezra Chater who discovered the dwarf dahlia in the Martinique 1810 and also died there of a monkey bite.
Ezra wasn't a botanist. He was a poet.
Well, he wasn't much of either, but he was both.
Look, Bernard, it's really not a disaster.
Of course it's a disaster. I was on the breakfast hour.
It doesn't mean that Byron didn't fight in a duel. It only means that Chater wasn't killed in it.
Okay, pull yourself together, Valentine. Do you really think I would have been on the breakfast hour if Byron missed?
Bernard, calm down. Valentine has a point. He's right.
You think so? The Piccadilly Recreation, you mean? 2 completely unknown Byron essays, and my discovery of the lines he penciled into English bards. I mean, that has got to count for something.
Very possible. Persuasive.
Oh, bugger persuasive. I proved he was here, and as far as I'm concerned, he shot that hare, sure as he wrote those lines. If only I didn't make it all about killing Chater. Why didn't you stop me? It's bound to get out, you know, this little gloss on my discovery. I mean, how long do you think it'll be before some botanical pedant blows a whistle on me?
The day after tomorrow in the Times.
You wouldn't.
It's a dirty job, but somebody has to.
Darling, sorry. Hannah,
And anyway, it was my discovery.
Hannah,
Bernard.
Hannah.
Oh, shut up. It'll be very dry, very short, very free. Would you rather it be done by one of your friends?
Oh God, no.
And then in your letter to the Times,
Mine?
well, of course, dignified congratulations to a colleague in a language of scholars I trust.
Oh, you mean eat shit?
Think of it as a breakthrough in Dahlia studies.
Hannah, Valentine, are you both Bernard? And you're not even dressed yet. Oh, please.
What are you wearing?
Oh. Come on. Put this on. We're all being photographed. Except for Hannah, of course.
Oh, yeah, I'll come and watch. I guess.
Hannah, Mommy asked if you have the theodolite.
What are you supposed to be, Chloe? Bo Peep?
Jane Austen, can't you see?
Of course.
Yeah, the theodolite. Sorry, it's in the Hermitage.
What? Wait, what photograph? I thought it was until this evening.
Well, the local newspaper, of course. Everybody's gonna be there. I mean, wouldn't you be excited?
The newspaper. I am not ready.
Oh, no.
Uh,
What are you doing? No.
This will have to do.
Bernard. Septimus.
My lady, what is it?
Shush. Now is our chance.
For what, dear God?
Do not act all innocent. Tomorrow I will be 17.
Dear Christ!
There. Now you must show me. You are paid in advance.
Oh,
The count plays for us. It is God given. I cannot be 17 and not walk.
but I cannot now.
Indeed you can. And I am come barefoot to mind my toes.
I cannot now because it is not a waltz.
It is not?
It is too slow for waltzing.
Then we will wait for him to play quickly.
My lady.
Mr. Hodge, are you reading my essay? Why do you work here so late?
To save my candles.
You have my old primer.
Well, it is mine again. You should not have written in it.
It was a joke.
It will drive me mad as you promised. Sit over there. You have us in disgrace.
If Mama comes, I will tell her we meant to kiss and not to waltz.
Silence or bed.
Silence.
Got it?
Uh,
It's heat.
are you drunk?
It's a diagram of heat exchange. Like a steam engine. You see, she didn't have the math, not remotely, but she saw what things meant. Way ahead, like a picture.
This is not science, this is storytelling.
No, it is. Is it the waltz now?
No.
Like a film.
What did she see?
And you can't run the film backwards. Not like Newton, a film of a pendulum or a ball falling through the air. Backwards, they look the same.
The ball would be going the wrong way then.
You'd have to know that. But with heat, friction, a ball smashing a window,
Yes.
they don't work backwards.
Who thought it did?
She saw why. You can put the bits of glass back, but you can't collect the heat from the smash. It's gone.
So the improved Newtonian universe must cease and grow cold. Dear me.
The heat goes into the mix.
And we must hurry if we are going to dance.
And everything, everywhere is mixing the same way all the time, irreversibly,
Oh, we have time, I think.
until there's no time left. That's what time means.
So when we have found all the mysteries and lost all the meaning, we'll be alone on an empty shore.
And then we will dance. Is it the waltz now?
It will serve.
Don't mind me, sorry. I just forgot my jacket.
Are you leaving?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Is everything okay?
Yes. Nothing I can get into right now.
Should I go?
No, I'm going.
Oh, I'll kill her! I'll kill her! I'll kill her!
Oh
What
dear.
the hell is it, Chloe?
Mother!
Your mother caught us in the cottage.
She snooped!
I don't think so. She was just rescuing a theodolite.
I'll come with you, Bernard.
No, you bloody won't.
Don't you want me to?
I am so sorry.
What are you sorry to him for?
Sorry to you too then. Sorry Hannah, sorry Byron, sorry Lightning, sorry.
Well,
Can I go now?
bastard, Bernard.
And you mind your own business. What do you know about anything?
Apparently nothing.
It was worth it though, wasn't it, Bernard?
It was lovely.
Nothing.
Oh, you shit! I drive you, but I'm a bit sloshed.
A minor scrape.
Bernard, can you just...
Good luck with the genius of the place. I'm really looking forward to it. And good luck with finding your hermit. I'd say out front is the safest.
I actually have a really good idea on who it is. I just
Publish!
can't find it.
Am I waltzing now?
Yes. For your essay, my lady, I have given an alpha in blind faith. Be careful with the flame.
I will wait for you to come.
I cannot.
You may,
I may not.
but you must.
I will not.
Then I will not go. Once more for my birthday.
Oh, I'm sorry, Gus. You startled me. Oh, thank you. Septimus holding Plautus? Oh my god, I've been looking for this! Thank you so much, Gus. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't dance. Okay.
And where would we be without the amazing crew of Arcadia, presenting the head of pop, Sabrina Tan.